A lot of folks are trying to figure out ways that they can increase their income, stretch every dollar that they have, spend less, downsize. And one particular method that is becoming more and more popular out of want and necessity is minimalism, moving towards a minimalistic lifestyle. And I got a comment from the video I posted yesterday that Mark Jenkins said, sell everything that you have that's worth anything now, because when nobody has the money soon, those same items you thought would store wealth are going to be almost worthless. Now, there's a lot being said there, and there is some truth to that statement. But I want to start off with, I don't think that everyone is going to be out of money. I think that some, particularly those closest to the bottom floor, closest to the ocean shore, which we talked about in the video where I broke down and explained inflation as a rising tide against the first 3 to 4 stories of a high-rise condo luxury townhome. And the folks at the bottom they're going to start feeling that water coming in, and then it's going to start getting up to their neck. Then it's going to completely engulf their entire floor, moving on to the next floor. And the folks at the top, the higher income earners, the closer you get to the 1%ers, they are still going to have a dry place to stay. They're still going to have money. So the items that folks thought were going to store value will store value. But if they're not around, then it doesn't do them any good. And with that being said, if you were to choose to go that route, if you were to choose to sell it all, get the money now while you still can, the question is, what do you do with the money? Are you only getting the money to spend it? Or are you getting the money so that money can make you more money? Or because once you sell these items that you thought were going to store value, that can turn around and put some money in your pocket, help boost up your bank account, help give you the financial means and ability to pay off some debt, perhaps, maybe. Once you get rid of them, then you don't have them anymore.
My immediate question after you said that was, what if you sell them now because, you're worried that they won't be sellable in the future, and then nothing tragic or super, super bad happens, and then you have to turn around and rebuy those things for almost double what,
you know what I
mean?
You'd only sell what you don't need. And that's why I said moving towards a minimalistic lifestyle and minimalism, because you would never buy them again.
That's very true. I actually talked about this previously for people who were in one of those very tight financial situations. I was like, listen, now is the time that if you don't want these things or need these things or use these things, now is the time to try to get rid of these things and bring in some money to line your pockets, to invest into something that will withstand all of this. Like in my theory, probably real estate. Don't 100% know, but
But once you do that, where are you going from there? Because once you sell them, once you pull off that, what was that movie, The Illusionist, with Ed Norton?
Yeah.
Once you do that final trick, you can't do it again.
That's very true. Well, to me, this is my own personal opinion. To me, depending on how much I was able to sell things for, and depending on how much debt I currently had, I would try to get rid of whatever debt I had, credit cards, things like that, unless they were 0% interest or something like that. But I would try to pay down debts that could affect me in a negative way.
So the key with storing stored wealth, items of value for stored wealth, is so that you really don't ever sell them. They continuously build wealth, continuously increase your net worth. And ideally, they are cash-producing assets like real estate. That, I have $1 million in real estate, I'm not going to sell. It helps my net worth be up another $1 million, and I receive residual passive income, ultimately in perpetuity, of $1,000 a month.
See, I guess this is where I was messing up because I was actually reading emails from subscribers while you were initially talking. I'm sorry, I didn't multitask like I
How
should
dare
have.
you.
How dare I? But what I was
Squirrel
thinking, squirrel trap. What I had in my mind was what I was telling my people. Like, if you have something in your home that you aren't using, like a high-end vacuum cleaner or things like that. I wasn't thinking of your gold rounded plates or your sterling silver this or that, or things like that generally speaking would
But
hold
that's the
some
thing.
value.
I would prefer to have cash producing assets of wealth
Yeah.
versus a fine china that historically is valuable,
Yeah.
but it's not making me any money by sitting in the china cabinet.
Very true.
And the odds that I actually go to sell it, the odds that I actually find a buyer, I would much rather sell and trade commodities than heirlooms and antiques that
Very true.
people typically say those are worth something. They sure are.
More
to the
mentally, emotionally.
very small group of folks out there interested in collecting them.
Yeah.
Because honestly, today, you want to find people interested in investing, not collecting.
Very true.
Now, the question that comes down to is if you sell off these things that you theoretically don't need to get yourself in a better position, less overhead, less carrying costs, less burden, more money, more cash in your pocket, loading up your checking, loading up your savings account, and you have debt. This is a question that comes through often. Should I pay down my mortgage? Should I pay down my mortgage is like the number one, because folks look at home ownership as the pinnacle, but never do they really ask. Typically, 9 times out of 10, I rarely get asked this by clients, and that is, should I pay down my car? Should I pay down my credit cards? Should I pay down my student loan? Should I pay down this Macy's card? Should I pay down my Target card? I rarely get that. It usually goes towards, should I pay down my mortgage?
I would actually pay down my mortgage last. I would get rid of the credit cards that have the interest rates where you're paying $35 a month, but your interest rate is charging you $33 a month. So you're just wasting money.
Well, so there's 2 schools of thought here. I'm actually going to make it 3. The first one being Dave Ramsey's school of thought, which is a snowball method, which is you don't worry about the interest rate. You worry about the lowest balance.
Yeah.
Because it allows you to get greater success faster with the smaller wins, looking at, wow, I have to eat this elephant. How am I going to do it?
Yeah.
Well, one bite at a time.
That's actually how I did it.
And we need to talk about that in another video.
Yeah.
But don't go after a $300,000, $400,000, $500,000 mortgage and be consumed. Go after that $500 revolving store credit card that you can knock out in 1 week. Then you got to win.
Yeah.
You got to win under your belt.
And then cut up that card and throw it away, but keep the line open so that you still have that.
Then you move on to the next card, $1,000. And now you're like, wow, I just paid off 2 cards versus, wow, I just lowered my principal balance, but I didn't actually really get anywhere.
Yeah.
So that's the Dave Ramsey.
It's a mental.
That's the Dave Ramsey snowball method, baby steps, school of thought, which even he leaves paying off your mortgage till I think step 6. So the other school of thought is to pay down the high interest debts first, because those cost you the most money. But it does come down to the mental, psychological strength and discipline that most people lack. So the Dave Ramsey method is actually probably better for 99% of the general public.
The ones who are already in that kind of debt are the ones who need that. You know what I mean? Like, if you're in that far into debt, you're already in a weird mental spending space anyway. So in order to make it feel like you've done something right and done something good, going Dave Ramsey's method does make the absolute most sense, because everybody needs those little mental victories, I guess you could say.
It's easier too, because most people, you say, hey, what are your balances? They can tell you. You ask, somebody actually emailed me and was asking me for some side hustle, passive income stream ideas and tips and strategies, because he wanted to pay off a car and he wanted to pay off a medical bill and then start building some savings and some investment funds. And I asked, and I said, well, what is the interest rate on your car loan?
And let me guess, he didn't know.
No
He
clue.
didn't have the specifics.
No clue.
So how can you start to help yourself if you don't even know where you need the help?
That's why Dave Ramsey's method works so well, because most people, if you ask, they know the balance. They have no idea what the interest rate is.
What the rest of it is. That makes
They have
absolute
no idea what the
sense.
interest rate is.
That makes
Now,
sense.
the third school of thought, and we're going to end with this, the third school of thought is the fact that where is that going to put you big picture financially? Because if you sell everything, if you declutter, if you are a minimalist, if you are cutting back on your budget because times are tough, food is expensive, inflation is kicking your butt, you're at risk. You're not doing it because you're trying to excel. You're doing it because you're trying to keep up. Okay. Now, if you're trying to excel, we're having a different conversation.
I was about to say it's a different
But if you're just
conversation.
trying to keep up, if you're trying not to get wiped out by inflation, if you're middle class, lower middle class, working class, poor, if you're already behind, if you have thousands of dollars in credit card debt, you're just trying to keep up.
Yeah.
So then the question is, if you have the money, if you have the cash, why would you want to risk it paying down a debt that you can't actually pay off?
When you could invest it somewhere.
When you could face a financial hardship the very next day that could have that confiscated, repossessed, foreclosed on. For instance, you sell everything, you're trying to keep up, but you've managed to accumulate $5,000. And you're thinking, all right, I'm going to put $5,000 towards my mortgage. My mortgage principal balance is $200,000. I'm going to put $5,000 towards it. It's going to lower my principal balance. I'm going to pay less interest. But at $200,000, your monthly payment is probably like $1,200 bucks.
What's it now? $1,198.
Let's just say it's $1,000. So you got $5,000. That's enough to cover 5 months. But instead, you use that $5,000 to pay down your principal. Now you're down to zero, and you're still trying to get by. You run into a financial hardship the next week. You can't make next month's mortgage, and then now you're at risk of foreclosure because you thought you were doing something good by paying down the principal instead of stacking your cash and having it for a rainy day.
Yeah.
And using that cash to help you make more money so that you can be secure, you can have that safety net so you can start to excel versus just survive, just hang on, just make it. And that's the other school of thought, is Dave Ramsey's method of lowest amount, lowest balance, the less traditional or 50-50 of highest interest that cost you the most each month, or self-preservation of cash.
Well, in today's society, honestly, if you're selling things because you are worried, then self-preservation needs to be your main goal.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you for watching and listening, actually, because this is really more of a podcast style video that a lot of folks have been asking more and more for, especially between PFS on YT and Kevin. I did want to share that if you guys haven't already, please check the link in the description so you can go ahead and sign up, put your email address, put your first name, and put your YouTube name for your chance to enter to win the RTS Tactical Rapid Deploy Medical IFAC Personal Safety First Aid Kit. The link is in the description. And again, that will be announced as far as the winner after October 1st. And all you got to do, it's 100% free. Just go ahead and click the link, fill out the information, first name, YouTube name, and your email address, and then you'll be notified by an email after the October 1st if you've won. Thank you guys. I appreciate it so much. This is the first subscriber giveaway, 50,000K subscriber giveaway on this channel. And I'm so excited. I'm happy to do it. I can't believe it. You guys have allowed me the ability to do this, and I'm looking forward to doing the next. The next one won't be at 100. It'll be sooner than that. But we're going to go ahead and kick this first one off with the RTS Tactical Rapid Deploy IFAC. Click the link in the description. If you guys got any questions, my contact's in there. And as always, drop a comment. If you haven't, subscribe to the channel. Give that like button a press, turn on notifications, and share this video with anyone you think it would be helpful and useful for. Appreciate it. See you guys real soon. Take care. Bye.